So last night I did a whole bunch of sketches of snowflakes. So I've done most of these so far, except for that one. That one's going to require. Oh, maybe I will do that one. I'm going to do that one. I was going to do this one, but this intrigues me. So the cool thing about this is that I only have what I drew, thinking maybe it'll be a good shape, but I haven't actually seen it as a whole yet. I haven't done it. So it's fun for me to not know. I think it's fun for all of us to not know what the shape is going to turn out. I've been having a lot of fun with these shapes today. Yeah, I recommend maybe just grabbing a sketchbook, and once you've folded one shape, once you've gotten this shape, I just use this to trace out this shape because this is your working shape for the drawing. So just outline a bunch of those and then just try different shapes. And the things you have to consider is the sides are what holds the whole shape together. So you want to make sure you're not cutting off an entire side. You'll see once you start making them. You're probably already making them and you probably already know what I mean. But if you're just beginning, you want to keep the integrity of the sides. The first couple I did, I copied some people online just to get a feel for it, and then I started doing my own designs once I got comfortable with it all. And I'm just using photocopier paper and take the short edge, aligning it with the long edge, folding it diagonally. And I've been finding that my thumb does the job really well. And then I cut off this excess piece, which I'm either going to use these pieces to make a notepad, to staple it on the end, or glue them all together and make a really long snow chain, of which I don't know what the design will be. So yeah, you've essentially taken a square and folded it in half diagonally. Then you turn the long edge towards you, and you're going to fold this in half using the bottom edge, the long edge. Sometimes this kind of buckles here, so sometimes I might take like a pencil and just kind of work it in so it folds easier. And then once you have this point down, then you can pull this down and then push away from you. And once you've done that a few times, then you can go back and forth. Now you have this fold in the center, and you're going to divide. You're going to need this fold anyways. It's going to be part of the design, but I find it easier to do this next part. Fold this into thirds at this point. You can make a template, and that will maybe make it easier. But I kind of like to just do it by eye, because then I figure I'm improving my eye rather than use a template. But it's not going to stop me from using a template. There you go. So you want the sides even, so this to line up and that to line up. So like I said, now you have 3 equal parts. And once you have that, then you're going to fold it one more time, like this. Now you have this shape. And you can see this is the shape that we want to finish with. So there's actually a line here of this piece, and you want to cut that off. And then use that again as your guide for up here. And that way you'll have a symmetrical triangle. To me it looks like a cone, an ice cream cone, without the ice cream. Okay, let's start on the design part now. Let's see. Let's turn my book. I'm doing this design, and I'm excited about it, because it's just like a lot of curves all matching up. A lot of like ribbons, maybe, is what I was thinking. So we'll turn it that way. You could probably use, if you have like a cup around or some round shapes, oval shapes, you could use it. But it's fun to do everything freehand. I mean, essentially you don't have to even do drawings to do snowflakes, you could just go for it. It's not quite the drawing I was doing there. We'll see. We'll see. It's not exactly like the one shape that I was working on, but it's pretty close. Yeah, pretty close. So, it doesn't all have to be so dark. And I'm just gonna kind of get away most of the heavy marks and then just kind of clean it up from there. Yeah, I think that's going to be pretty cool. Right. What you want is to have parts of this edge overlapping so that it keeps the integrity of the snowflake. But the important thing here was to also make sure that I had access to cut into the shape from the sides. Because there's some shapes that I've created that you actually need a cutting knife and a cutting board to use. You can only access the cutting from the inside of the design rather than the outer edges. The outer limits. I have to look up every once in a while to see if I'm actually holding my snowflake in the right position. Because I've made some videos when I realized later as I moved the design out of the way and you can't see me actually doing it. That's snow fun. Snow fun. You're snow fun. You're snow fun. Well, you're snow fun yourself. You're not so snow fun yourself. Just be careful when you're cutting with very little paper to hold on to. Just make sure you're not getting your finger in the way, but you do want to hold pretty close to the scissors so the paper doesn't shift too much. It gets a little wacky when you have just this much shape to go on. You can't always get in there, but do your best. I find that doing your best is always the best way to go, unless it's time to do your worst. Sometimes it's good to do something as poorly as possible. Then everything else after that is golden. You don't always want to put your best foot forward, your best snowflake forward, because then you create too high of expectations. I like to start off with as low expectations as possible. Then after that, everything you do is great. When you meet somebody, you don't want to impress them too much with your awesome snowflaking making skills or whatever you're good at or great at. Maybe just kind of keep that in your pocket for a little while and then bring that out, and it'll have much more an effect. And then you'll know that people aren't just being nice to you because you can cut snowflakes so well. Because I've fallen into that trap. People find out, he's a great snowflake cutter. And you just don't know if people want to be around you for your personality or just your ability to cut a snowflake, which is in such high demand these days, such a rarity. I have to be careful here because this is actually all that's holding this together. I don't think the engineers would be happy about this, but who am I to say what the engineers are looking for? Whoa, boy. I didn't realize, like when you're drawing And like, I know that I took all this into consideration, but you can really see it. Like if I had cut, obviously, if I didn't leave that gap there, there would be an issue. So this is pretty close, fairly close to this design that I was trying. Not quite, but it's got the, how do you say, it has the same spirit of the design. So we got this, and then we fold that out to reveal this. That's different. I'm getting hungry. Do you create, are you more creative when you're hungry or when you're full? That probably is the funnest thing about the snowflake making, is let's get this out here like this. Whoa. Kapow. Sometimes I get this bang on.